Alright, what's up everybody? I'm going to talk a little bit about today about an issue I've been having in my F30 BMW. Started out as kind of a random issue. I would get a left lamp malfunction, a left turn signal malfunction, and if you are having this same problem, you know you've been on all the forums. They've talked about a bad module, they've talked about a potential battery issue, light bulbs. They can't seem to figure it out, right? Well, I think I've come to the conclusion on my issue what's causing it. I'm gonna walk you through it. So here's the error that you generally see on this issue. So generally, this is the error message you'll get, and at a brief inspection of the turn signal and the brake lamp or bulbs, everything's good. Battery's brand new, had to be replaced. You know, got some mileage on the car. So I started looking to troubleshoot what the issue was, and I'm going to walk you through the rest of that. Okay, so first you're going to have to remove the actual housing. Here, there's a molding clamp or a molding push pin in there. Generally, you can grab a screwdriver and pull that out, which I'll do now. It should come right out. So once you have this out, you'll pull this protective cover over off of it, and you'll see that you'll expose two screws to the housing. These are 10 millimeter. So grab your nifty 10 and start pulling those away. Alright, so 10 millimeters are out. It should loosen the light assembly. You'll pull this out. You should be able to just jiggle it. It should come out. It's kind of a little hard to do with one hand. But I'm going to put the phone down here for a second. Out. So you just need to basically pull on it gently to release it. And so this is what it's going to look like once you release it. So it's released. You'll have your harness here, and then you have these kind of a push clip that holds the rear assembly in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and I'll resume the video once I have removed the push pins. Alright, so these are the ones I'm talking about. You basically use your thumb, you pull these down. There's 4 of them. You pull this assembly out, and at preliminary inspection, the bulbs look okay. This one looks like it might have to be replaced at some point, but both of them are solid. So it's not that issue. Inspecting of the cabling, everything looks factory, doesn't look tampered with. So that doesn't tell me anything. So at this point, you're probably thinking, oh, it's a module, but this is what I came to realize. So after pulling the harness off, I started to notice that there's pins inside of this, and it's a little hard to see with my phone. Let me see if I can get some better light here. You'll see some pins. Well, there's supposed to be 4. One of them has essentially been either melted off or has been removed. And so looking at the back of the unit here, I also looked at the harness itself, and you can see that this harness, it's a little hard to see with my phone, but this harness right here, that plug should have been, it's this brown one here, should have had contact, and it doesn't. So something transpired with this where it basically severed the connection between this brown cable and the assembly. So I took a quick look on some of the part sites, and it's a known part. They sell the harness, they sell the assembly. So obviously someone has realized, or at least a company out there has realized, that this is a known defect with BMW. And so, you know, these things are like $50, and the harness is another 20. So, you know, the car's got some miles on it. It's at the point of its life where, you know, I could go and spend the money, but now I'm talking about severing cables that are factory. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a process to allow me to salvage this. And I'm essentially going to solder through here to ensure connection. And I'm going to use a T connector on the cable to extend. So I'll show you what that looks like after I'm done. Hopefully it solves it, and I've saved myself, $70. Alright, so I promised you guys a finished product. My original intent was to solder it, but this looks like a galvanized or some type of metal that doesn't take to solder. I can't tell if it's like galvanized or if it's a different type of metal. I'm assuming there may be other materials out there that will work, but what I essentially ended up having to do is using a connector with the insert. I bypassed and brought this through, and I used a T connector to extend the connectivity back to the assembly. So, not the prettiest thing in the world. It will work. There's some people that may go, geez, just pay the $75, but the reality is they don't sell these anywhere local. You have to order it, and in the meantime I'm driving around without a tail light or a turn signal. So even if this is a temporary fix, at least it will get you on the road and back on your back to business. Okay, so everything's been reassembled. 10 millimeters tightened. Got the pin through it. Cover back on. So right away it looks like the turn signal's back on. So we'll check inside and see if the air's gone. All right, we're looking good. Light is functional. Tested the brake light. Unfortunately, I can't show you that while I'm in the car, but turn signals also work. And I just saved myself $70.